TNA knockout. I can't even remember. That match was so quick. The Inspiration versus the Elegance brand.
Yeah, it was really quick. Went by super duper fast. All right, we're
I
alive.
gotta make sure I got Discord audio. Oh, there we go. That's in there now. Well, this one shouldn't be as long because it's just
No.
Crown Jewel and Bound for Glory.
Yeah. Let me just put some cord. I don't know why my bot doesn't alert anyone anymore on for YouTube lives on Discord.
I will say I get all the other ones, but YouTube, no. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, my bot stopped working for it, I guess. What's up there, Angelo? What's up there, Benny? How are you guys doing? Yeah, Mike Santana got that win. What's up? You are the first person in the live, Angelo. Excuse me. I have to just smoke, otherwise I'm gonna go off even more.
Oh yeah, I was pretty heated after one match.
Yeah. All right, we're not gonna. I'm not even planning on talking about the Hall of Fame stuff either. Just
Okay, yeah, because I didn't watch any of that.
I had it up, but I felt like I was just yapping with chat most of the time.
I was finishing up the birthday party, so
Hi, Daisy Dukes. Were you checking on me because I'm coughing? Are you guys not talking about SmackDown? No, because we talked about it before. Or no, we didn't. We didn't talk about it. Well, there's really nothing to talk about. I feel like 'cause Crown Jewel happened. So
I mean, I don't think you watched SmackDown. Actually, you decided not to.
I didn't even watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
SmackDown was. I mean, I saw the highlights of it, but like it just wasn't worth waking up that time, and I didn't care about it later on. I was like, I just feel like playing games today. Fuck that show. Yeah, no SmackDown review. Yeah, Nakamura returning is cool. I'm glad that they got their themes, them and the Profits, their OG themes back. Tama Tonga returned, which is cool. Interesting though, because he was like aligning with Jacob previously. Baby, I know. But yeah, I mean, nothing really to talk about. I feel like, I mean, we could glaze over it, but we're gonna starting off with TNA. So I'm ready whenever you are.
Are we starting off with TNA?
Oh yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's go. Let's get it.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Turnbuckle Talk. I am Josh, as always, with Kraken. Kraken, we just got done watching Bound for Glory. It literally ended 20 minutes ago. And I feel like I have a lot to say. I think you have a lot to say about this show, especially since we're reviewing it fresh, just not even an hour after the show's over. I will say, shout out to the wrestlers. They put on a good show in ring. The wrestling was phenomenal. On the other hand, the booking for some of those outcomes and the overbooking of some of these matches was just classic LOL TNA. We have to start off. I know this was like halfway into the show, but we have to start off with the thing that made no fucking sense. Why the fuck did Dark State get involved in the X Division title match with Leon Slater and Javon Evans? I would make way more sense to me if they would have gotten involved in the Hardys Dudley, since the Hardys defeated them for the NXT tag titles. Obviously, at the end of the day, I would have want not any of those matches that had Dark State involvement, because I'm not a Dark State fan. Dark State does not do anything for me. I think they're not the worst wrestlers. I think, if anything, Saquon Sugars and Osiris are my two favorites out of the group if I had to pick anything. But at the end of the day, I've never been interested in Dark State since their debut. They're boring, match-wise. Didn't care for them as tag champs. But why the fuck? Sorry, little puppy. Why the fuck are they getting involved in this match? Out of all fucking matches, not only did they get involved in this match, we had a draw, which I didn't even know there was a 20-minute time limit to X Division matches.
I didn't either.
So there was a 20-minute time limit draw. At first, I thought it was a double count out because they were outside the ring brawling for a bit. So then it ended up being, which I was more fine with the draw. I was like, okay, well, Halloween Havoc, maybe a rematch. And then they restart the match. I was like, okay, fuck it. This is even better. Cool. Then the Dark State interference happens not even 4 minutes later. Why? Is there any justifiable reason for them interfering in that match specifically at all? Did I miss something on NXT? Did I miss something on Thursday's TNA episodes because I don't watch it weekly?
I didn't see anything on NXT that would have solidified this attack here, and I think the announce team was even kind of puzzled where they were like, TNA, they lost the tag title, so maybe this is their way of getting back at the TNA fans, TNA universe, or because NXT. But it still don't make no fucking sense.
It doesn't.
Like,
it doesn't exactly.
This ruined a 5-star match.
It was a phenomenal match. Phenomenal match.
And I was, 5 more minutes. Hell yeah, we're gonna get a winner. It's gonna happen. Either Javon's gonna get his first title, or Javon's gonna show why he deserves a title in NXT. Either way, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But no, Dark State out of nowhere, and they're going to get a lot of heel heat from this. And I guess that's the issue. That's what they're doing.
That's true.
But are they gonna put Javon and Leon Slater in a tag team now? But what does that get them?
True.
Because Dark State doesn't have the titles.
Can they coexist type bullshit, I guess? I don't know.
It was a horrible decision by both TNA and WWE.
I agree. Big Nick in the YouTube chat says Dark State was an issue. The tie in the Battle Royal pulled me out. Yeah, I will definitely get into that. I agree with that. Dark State broke up the reason for Santino saying an extra 5 minutes. Yeah. So there was a lot more issues I had with the show as well. I do agree with that. Big Nick, we'll get into that here shortly on the Battle Royal or the Gauntlet. But yeah, I sat there with my chat and I was like, what justifies Dark State getting involved in this match? And my chat's like, shouldn't it have been the Hardys? I was like, that exactly. Like, what? Why this match? I was like, if it's gonna be any match, be that one. But I would rather it not be any of them. I'd rather have fucking, especially that match with the Hardy Dudleys. So yeah, really, I don't know what justifies it. I really can't think of anything at the moment. But
there's nothing.
It sucked because that match was so good. In ring, the crowd was the loudest they've been all night too. Like that match, they were so into the near falls. They were into all the big spots, everything. Like they were so drawn in, and it drew me in even more. But puzzling.
Yeah, and I don't know. It was poor booking. I mean, if they were gonna attack, you should have attacked right before the 20 minutes. The way they didn't give us the extra 5.
Angelo in the YouTube chat says they should have been in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. I would have been okay with that. I mean, I felt like there wasn't even enough surprises in that to begin with.
No. I mean, you could have thrown in, like, Carrion could have showed up. That would have been a good surprise.
I think he had a bad. I don't know how it is now because it's new ownership, but I think there's a reason he hasn't been back in TNA. I think that he didn't have a good exit or something like that.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. I might be wrong on that, but that's the rumor I heard. Again, I'll call it rumor because I don't know if that's true. But so I mean, I don't know who else it could have been. I'm not saying like it should have been this person. Whatever. I don't know. BDE was cool. I was maybe hoping that meant a Chris Danger appearance since he attacked him at Pro Wrestling Evolver after he won the title there. BDE. Yeah, so I was thinking maybe they'd tie that in. I mean, they did the whole AJ Francis thing, which was cool. But yeah. Overall, the show was good. I thought, I will say that I didn't think it was a bad show. Overall, I gave it a 3 out of 5. But before we go further into this show, we have to talk about our prediction battle, which this match it solidified that you won. So we had a prediction battle with Crown Jewel and Bound for Glory. For Crown Jewel, this is how the outcomes came. We only had one different in Crown Jewel, and that was Stephanie. Obviously, Stephanie got the win, so that led me up by 1. So you were only down 1 going into Bound for Glory. So we got every single thing right besides that one, like because that was the only one we had different. So we were going in one different. Obviously, Inspiration, we said both they would win. They did, so that kept
Yep.
us the same. I'm not probably gonna go in order here, so I'll just kind of say them. Frankie Kazarian, we did pick different. I picked Kazarian, you picked Macklin. Macklin did win, so that made us tied again. And then I believe we jumped into Tessa and Gia. I had Tessa, you had Gia. We'll get into this one too. Tessa got the win over Gia. That put us, I believe, me over you at that point. I forget. Anyways, that was just that outcome. And then, of course, System beat the Order 4. Kalani beat Indy, which you had Kalani. You had the System, so you got both of those right. We both said Hardys. We both said Mike. That those both were right. And then, of course, the fucking outcome of it all, Leon Slater and Javon Evans. So we were basically, he was up 1 at this point once we got to this match. I forget the orders. That's why I went out of order. But he was up 1 going into this match. This was our last match of the night that we didn't have the same pick. So this was the outcome. If I would have got it, we would have tied again. So if Leon would have retained fair, we would have tied. Because if we would have gotten the last 2 right. So it would have been another fucking draw. Oh. But this fucking bullshit outcome now means I have to wear whatever shirt wrestling related that he chooses on stream. So get to looking on PWTs, on eBay, whatever you can find.
Oh yeah.
Don't go over like $50 or 40. Like, I'm sure some of them might be.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll find something. I'll probably have it this week. I'll have it picked out, and then we'll find a way to get it to you because.
Or I could even order it too, whatever works.
And now, is it going to be like for just one stream, or is it
whatever you want? You win, so pick it.
Okay,
you're the winner, man.
I'll probably have you do it for Wrestle Dream.
Okay, so unfortunately, I'm going to a wedding that night. I will not be live for Wrestle Dream.
Okay,
I'm totally missing it, unfortunately.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll get it. Or we could do. I don't know. You'll pick a date, whatever. Even if it's like every stream for like a week or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. I'll watch it every night. It'll be all faded by Friday. Yeah. So you win. You got the first prediction after we tied for all out and WrestlePalooza. We almost back-to-back draw if I would have gotten that right on this one. That would have been nuts. Especially because it's 2 pay-per-views. It's not even 1 we're doing this on.
And then we would have had to probably gone to Wrestle Dream for predictions.
Angelo in the YouTube chat says, "Bro, make him wear some weird or sus wrestling merch." That's what we're actually trying to do. If there's any way, I even said this when we first decided to do this. Like, if there's any way that we could get our hands on the AJ Styles shirt that's like the white paint, but it looks like jizz, I would so want to get that. But to do this on him, but I'm sure that's probably a hard get nowadays because that's pretty old. So, but all right, let's go into the rest of Bound for Glory. So. I didn't really pay attention to the Hall of Fame, but congrats to beautiful people, Angelina Love and Velvet Sky, as well as Mickie James for going into the TNA Hall of Fame. It's really awesome to see them get honored like that. First year, I believe that they've done multiple inductees too. Excuse me. I don't have anything to say about their speeches or anything, because I didn't really pay attention. I had it up, but I was yapping with chat. They ended up going into the Inspiration versus Elegance brand on the pre-show. Very short match. Very short, really nothing to it. Wasn't bad, but wasn't like really anything of notable. Inspiration retained.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it, I think, prior to that the Inspiration was more than likely going to attain, but there was also the question of supposedly the contracts were coming up, so it kind of was like, are they going to win? But I haven't seen any update on that. I don't know if you have, but no. I figure now, of course, that they did win. They're probably going to be signed for sure.
For sure.
But it was a good match. We got to see Ash. She came out there with them. The Elegance brand. They did say it was some health stuff, but they, of course, still keeping.
So she did like a meet and greet or like an autograph signing or something. And she said, I think she was asked about it, and she just said that she's considering herself officially retired right now.
Yeah. So it was good to see her. She kind of, waved them in, waved to the crowd. So, but other than that, it was a good match. I mean, I think the Elegance brand is going to have to kind of repackage what they're doing
Yeah.
for a little bit.
That's what I forget. I don't know if it was Matthew Raywall or which one on commentary, but they were basically saying that they need to maybe relook into changing it up and changing what they need to be about since Ash is out now. But
Yeah.
yeah. So I think because apparently their contracts were expiring today, like this was it for them. So I'm assuming they either agree to something backstage before this,
Yeah, if they did, and they said, well, guess we're leaving with the tag titles.
or maybe they're just be on a per date, like per appearances. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. They'll
Um,
figure it out.
So we started Bound for Glory off with the international title. It was a really good match. I actually thought this was perfect to open with after it finished. But very good match between Macklin and Frankie Kazarian. They had Steve Macklin's mom ringside, and at one point Kazarian was talking shit to her after they fought on the outside and like threw Macklin back in the ring. And he went back to his mother, and she like kind of got up from her seat and eventually did the double bird to him, and the crowd popped. That was fucking awesome. But overall, really good match. Nothing bad in this match at all. It was a typical, like, and when I say typical, I mean it was just like what you expect from Steve and Frankie. A really hard hitting, fucking like. There was a point they're on the outside and they were just dropping elbows, and it was so loud, like you could hear the hits on their skin. It was just brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so short reign for Kazarian. He loses it back to Macklin, which is what you got right on the prediction to start the show. I really thought Frankie would retain here, but it made more sense once we got later in the show.
Yeah. To the odd finish. But yeah.
Yeah.
I seen that. I don't know if you noticed it, but they were also paying tribute to AJ Styles in this match.
That's right. I totally missed it though because I was yapping to my chat and chat had to point it out to me.
Yeah, I think it was Kazarian did a Pele kick,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think he also did the Angel Wings.
Yeah,
by Christopher
Kazarian went.
Daniels.
He went. He had the angel wings. It says right here that on the thing I have pulled up.
So that was, it was nice to see other people also paying respect to them. But yeah, this match was fantastic. It was a great story.
Great opener.
Of course, I think it was Macklin came out after they done the Star Spangled Banner, and of course they mentioned that he was in the military as well, so that's why
Oh yeah,
he
that's
came
right.
out with them.
That's correct. I forgot about that.
So the announcers, were talking about you don't talk shit to a military person's mom because she's not going to give a shit either. So that was nice. Like you said, she gave the birds, but yeah, it was
Really good match.
opening.
So we jumped right into Tessa Blanchard versus Gia Miller, which is interesting because if you don't keep up with TNA, Gia Miller is a backstage interviewer, correspondent. She's never wrestled on TNA before prior to this, and so to have her first match against Tessa, who's a very good in-ring worker, she's very good. So they trust Tessa to help Gia in this match. I don't know how long Gia's been training, but it wasn't bad. She did not look bad. Obviously, she looked like she was still learning, but like obviously I've never wrestled, so who am I to even judge on that, really? But like obviously, it was just a little obvious as someone who's watched my whole life. Like, okay, she's not bad. She's good at selling. I thought she did a really good job at selling Tessa's moves because Tessa was laying in on some shit. There was a few times I was like, oh my god, like damn, Gia's eating some shit in her first match. But no, fine match. Classic TNA with, of course, I didn't really care for this. So they had Victoria Crawford, the former Alicia Fox, who's been like managing or like a tag partner of Tessa. I'm not really sure because I don't watch the weekly show, but she's out with her during this match. They had Jody Thread out with Gia. At one point, obviously, Victoria gets involved, or Victoria Crawford. I say that and I think of the other Victoria, so it confuses me. So she ends up getting involved, and the ref's like sees it. It's right in front of the ref. He tosses her out. She refuses to leave. Tessa goes out there. Security comes out, trying to get her to leave. Tessa's like trying to defend her, not get her tossed out. Even the ref tossed her. So I'm like, really? Come on. Just go. You've been ejected. Finally, Jody Threat climbs up top, does like a swanton to the outside, taking out everyone. I was like, okay, Jesus, finally. And then Jody ends up chasing off Victoria Crawford to the back. So finally. But this was so weird. I didn't really understand why Tessa uses this. But eventually, Gia lifted Tessa for a power bomb out of the corner. The ref was fiddling with the pad because I believe Tessa fucked with it or moved it or something, or pulled it off. And then so Tessa had a fucking roll of quarters. And she hits Gia in the head while she's up on her shoulders, and Gia goes down and covers 1, 2. What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
Why is
And
Tessa Blanchard beating a backstage correspondent in a wrestling match? I get it. She trained that. It's not my point. But why is she beating her by cheating? I get she's a heel. I get that too. But like, really? She had to cheat to beat this non-wrestler?
Mhm.
I get the story is trying to be, oh, Gia Miller brought more than she anticipated, yada, yada, yada. I get that. It's not that I don't get that. It just doesn't, even when you're telling that story, it just didn't, I couldn't buy it. Or Tessa Blanchard. I don't even like Tessa, but I will acknowledge that she's a fucking really good wrestler.
Yeah, and then I think the announce team mentioned it was like 1988 when her dad done it to like Dusty Rhodes. I
That's what it
guess that
was?
could be
Okay.
like, yeah, I think
See,
it's like
I was
some,
probably mad and yapping over that.
but it doesn't make sense. Like, so my chat was telling me that Gia had been doing wrestling for quite some time. And I looked
Okay.
it up while he was, she was been in OVW, from like 21 to 22, and then wrestled in Indy, and now of course is doing TNA,
Okay, that would make sense.
starting
I feel like a
Impact.
lot of people like who end up being like backstage correspondent, announcers, I mean commentators, they end up being either former wrestlers who just moved on to that position or for one reason or another. So that would make sense. I mean, they did the same
Yeah,
thing with Stevie Turner in NXT. They put her in as like an assistant to Ava for a while before she took over Evolve, and she even tweeted like, "Yeah, I get to wrestle again." I wonder why that was even the case, but yeah, I that would make sense, I guess. I guess just because I know Gia as just a backstage correspondent, that's the way I see it, you know? So, I mean, she looked solid. I mean, but I just didn't care for that ending. And I hated the fact that, because that's the story being told, that you're fighting this backstage correspondent that you attacked previously, that you got suspended for. She trained to fight you because she was this backstage correspondent. And then you have to use your friend and then cheat at the end with the fucking roll of quarters of all fucking thing, which you said is a callback to Dusty and her dad or something like that. But
yeah.
huh? It
I
just
don't,
doesn't. I can't buy it.
no, because in my mind, Tessa did not think she could beat Gia Miller at that point.
Yeah.
The power bomb there would have been, I guess, Gia's finisher, and if she didn't hit with the quarters, it was over. Just it does not make sense.
Angelo, yes, she is the one that wrestlers Chelsea Green and Dion Prazo and others have called out for racist behavior to other female wrestlers and stuff. Yes, that is Tessa. She is one of the best in the world, but she's a horrible person. Yes, I mean we don't know her personally, but everything that has been said by other wrestlers makes me believe that. But again, I'll always acknowledge that Tessa's very good in the ring, so that's why I couldn't buy that story. I really couldn't. I didn't care for it. I didn't like how it played out. So from there we go to the
It did
oh, go ahead.
not. No, it didn't go like I still don't understand the whole quarter aspect. Like I guess it's just gonna bother me. Like you have Tessa has she's trying to be the dominant woman back in TNA. She beat Jordan Grace, uh, and that was one of Jordan Grace's last few matches there. And now she has to use the roller quarters to
Mhm.
solidify the win. It just does not. It don't make sense to me. I don't know.
I think we have a slight delay. I know you
I
were
don't
having
understand.
internet issues earlier, but I think there's like a tiny delay. But it's not bad. But like, because I got done talking and then it took it was like a newscast where they're like, "Thanks, Bob." Like, you know what I mean? But I think
Yeah, I will say.
I think it's got better. I think it just got better now because you just started talking.
Yeah. The words are matching up now with
Oh,
your
with
mouth
me.
now. So yeah,
Little internet issues one of us is having. It could be me too. I always have issues too. So, but that's funny. Yeah. So after that, we went to the Collier Shot match, which Brandon does everything. Of course, if you don't know who he is, I'm assuming if you're watching us, you have to know who BDE is. He was one of the biggest wrestling YouTubers in the world. He's been training to be a wrestler for a while now, and he's wrestled quite a bit this year. Winning the title in Pro Wrestling Revolver, having matches with AJ Francis and stuff like that recently. After he won that title, he got attacked by Chris Danger, Dank Ops, and other top wrestling YouTubers. So pretty cool to see him get announced for this after he tweeted to TNA that he wanted to be involved. If not, he was going to be front row. And then they announced I forget their name, but the twins, the content creators, and then Brant Oakley were also ringside. That was cool. So he was in this match. He came out about halfway in, I think. I felt like there wasn't as much surprises. Like we were talking about this a bit ago. There wasn't as much surprise as I expected. We saw Nunzio come out, or Little Guido come out with I forgot who that man was. I think they said he was coming back from an injury. Let me see here.
Zach Clayton.
There you go. That was my first time ever seeing him. That was cool to see that. Obviously we knew Mance Warner would be 20 since he had won the that one thing. They showed it before the match, but I forgot what it was. Santino Marella ended up being in it after Jody Threat was coming in at 17, but then got taken about by Kazarian, who put himself in the match, and then Santino ended up being 18. So that makes me wonder, was he always supposed to be 18? But they recreated his whole Rumble second elimination. They even were like, well, did he break his own record? I don't know. I thought it was funny. I get it, but I was like, at the same time, I was like, nah. But this is technically more than 20 people, by the way, because they counted the Rascals as one for some reason, but it was all three of them: Myron Reed, Zachary Wentz, and Trey Miguel. So that was kind of cool, though. So the whole list of everyone in this was Lei Ying Lee, Mara Sade, I forgot how you say that, Ryan Nemeth, Nick Nemeth, Cedric Alexander, Rich Swann, AJ Francis, Travis Williams, or St. Travis Williams, BDE, the Rascals, Danny Luna, Eric Young, Jake Something, Rosemary, Hometown Man, who was hella over, Zach Clayton, Frankie Kazarian, Santino Marella, Matt Cardona, Mance Warner. So not as many surprises as I expected.
No, I mean, with, I guess, the roster TNA had, the people they've had from the past that could have showed up, you could have even had some, NXT
there was
talent.
Fucking James Storm, man. I know he's not like full-time TNA anymore, and he shows up here and there, but come on. Your biggest show of the year. This is considered their like WrestleMania, right? Bound for Glory.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So this, I will say, it didn't come off that way to me tonight.
No, it did not. But I mean, could have been a few more surprises. Like I said, Cross, but like you said, there was something probably going on with that. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, maybe other people were booked elsewhere. Who knows? I mean, there could be a million reasons, but yeah, I mean fine Battle Royal. The Gauntlet was fun at the end of the day, though. At the end of the day, I enjoyed it. The only thing that I didn't care for, again, match was fine. Enjoyed it until the end. So at the end of and some people in my chat didn't even want to see Frankie Kazarian be in the final because he won it last year. So it was Nick Nemeth and Frankie Kazarian. Obviously, at first they did the whole Frankie Kazarian went out through the middle rope. I forgot from who, but he never went out, and he just stayed down on the outside until it was Nick Nemeth alone in the ring. After he eliminated Matt Cardona, and then it became Frankie and Nemeth, and then they did it becomes a one-on-one at this point. So ref comes in immediately, first move, ref bump. Yeah. First move, but they brought in a ref immediately. Like another ref came in for the pin. But eventually it led to a double pin where both refs counted the pin. And they did the whole like raise both hands back and forth until Santino came out and ruled it a double win. The crowd chanted bullshit and then openly booed that. And I agreed with them. That was a fun match to end that way. Like, I get we've had Royal Rumbles and, where we've had double winners. I mean, the one accident where it was an actual accident, Cena, Batista, but then they actually did Brett and Luger like that back in '94. So it's like it's not happened before in other companies with similar type matches. It's just, how is this going to work? The Call Your Shot Gauntlet, it's almost like a Money in the Bank, or it is a Money in the Bank, if you will. You cash in with your trophy to win whatever title you want. Like, it's any title that you pick in the company. How are you going to do this for two? And they did this later on, and it was confusing. Like, I don't understand how you're going to do this with two people.
Yeah, it's either going to be a triple threat for whatever title they go after, which obviously they're going to go for the TNA World title. So, unless one of them takes it, kind of like, I guess, Nick did, took it to the ring, and he was going to cash it in. And if he does and he doesn't win, does that still mean Kazarian has it?
That's what I was wondering.
Going to be
like, is it like, can both of them? Why can't both of them just get a cash in on something? Why does it have to be they have to agree to a cash in? So obviously, like you said, it's just going to lead to a triple threat. But like, why can't they make it the option of like, I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Again, I've never really followed this whole the Call Your Shot Gauntlet before in the past. Like, I've barely got into TNA during COVID, but I never like fully got into it where I watched it year round. You know what I mean? And I I just don't understand how they're gonna pull this off. I mean, I guess the triple threat's the best way in this case scenario, I guess.
It would have to be.
Or you screw
Like I
one.
said, yeah, that's the only. It's
One guy
only,
cashes in,
I
the other
guess,
doesn't get to. Yes.
logical option is first one to it. You know, if
I
Frankie
feel like what
Gary,
will
Frank,
happen is they'll like one person will take it to the ring about to cash in, but they get like knocked down or something, or like say Nemeth takes it to the ring, but then Kazarian, like they had like a backstage segment earlier where like they're fighting over the trophy, and eventually like Nemeth gets his hands on it, and maybe like Ryan takes out Kazarian or something. But then Kazarian like was the one who stops him from cashing in, but then they both look at each other like, let's just both do it. I have a feeling that's how it's gonna go.
that's the only way. I don't know. It's the worst decision, I think,
I thought that was the worst
besides
outcome for
Dark
that battle
Stage.
royal. Like I was fine with either man winning it, and I would have probably been like, if Kaz won it back to back, and he did technically, but like that was the worst outcome.
Yes, I mean Cardona would have kind of probably been better than it being a tie,
Mhm.
but I don't know. Someone that hasn't had the TNA title.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that hometown man, of course, that's Cody Deaner. He was so over in this match. Like I think he's kind of
Yeah,
been in this whole gimmick, but like, man, do they love him? Speaking of, I was gonna say the crowd, how big that crowd is. Speaking of the size of that crowd, they announced like a record-breaking crowd of 7,700 or something, 7,700 something. Um, Last I saw, if you follow the Twitter account WrestleTix, was nowhere near that earlier today.
no, it wasn't.
It was like
It,
6,200 or something, which is really good. Like 60, almost 6,100, something like that. It was over 6K. But like the fact that they somehow got however many, no way they got 14. Unless I did see BDE earlier and Brent gave out some tickets, but no way they papered that hard, right?
I don't. I would think so. Yeah, I pulled up WrestleTix. With the current setup they had at 13 hours ago was 6,488,
That's great.
and it said 6,049 was distributed. Total seating available was 7,418. So they had to open more seats.
I don't buy the 7,700 number. It doesn't matter. I just don't know why
Yeah.
they're lying. If they pulled 65, that's good. That's like right behind what they got for Slammiversary.
Yeah,
But who
it
knows? Maybe
is.
they got 1,400 walk-ups. Who the fuck what do I know? But like, you know what I mean? That was like everyone I saw on Twitter was like, "What the fuck?" Like that's so much different from what WrestleTix was reporting this afternoon. That was a big
Yeah, I
difference.
mean, something had to have changed. I mean, I know last minute you could probably get them a little cheaper,
Oh,
like ticket
100%.
wise,
That's always usually how it goes.
but but not 1,000 tickets or right at. I don't know. I mean, we never know.
More than 1,000.
BDE
It's like
and they could
1,400.
have BDE and them could have got more people in. I
I'll
don't
say
know.
I don't know, man. It's just that was interesting to me. We'll see what I guess what WrestleTix says because they always do a report afterwards. So, I don't really care at the end of the day. I just thought that was interesting. So after the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, we went into the Knockouts title match, and unfortunately for me, this was the match that I thought was the least. It was so forgettable.
The women's knockout title match.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
it happened.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
With the worst outcome too, with Kalani retaining. I don't hate Kalani. I love Kalani. She's great in the ring. She's fantastic. She's improved so much. I just don't. I felt like TNA should have just went over in their own WrestleMania.
Yeah. I really think TNA needs to get all their titles back. I think this one would have been a good one for them to get back, and it didn't happen. But yet again, Kalani says she will represent the title that she's holding for that company. So is she going to now only be on TNA, or is she going to be on NXT?
Yeah, it could be more on TNA because of that, I guess. They did a good job at making me feel bad for Indy though, because they started like before the match even started, they had her family ringside, and they're like they flew all the way from Melbourne, Australia. It's like, damn, it's a long flight, man. So the fact that her family was even there, I mean, who knows? Maybe they live in America and I don't know. But like, if that's the case, the fact that they flew all the way and Indy lost, and then they did the whole thing with like her going up to her family, and I was like, oh my god, I feel so bad. And they did the whole this was her dream. She was a TNA fan growing up. She always loved TNA, wanted to be a knockout champion as a child. Dude, you read that whole thing as the story going into the match, and then she loses to the NXT superstar on TNA's WrestleMania, our biggest show of the year, whatever you want to call it. Man, what is going? I know the partnership's doing good for you guys. You guys are breaking records on tickets, and guys are doing good money. Like you guys are looking like you might be getting a TV deals. Carlos Silva's teasing. Cool. Like I'm so good at that flourishing. That we need more companies flourishing in wrestling, and now we're gonna have a third doing really well in America and North America, I guess I'll say. But like, what is this booking decisions, man?
I don't know. I think Indy deserves it. She deserved one in WWE, and TNA just continues to do the same thing. It doesn't make any sense. Yet again, she still is the HOG Women's Champion, unless she lost
Oh
it this
yeah,
weekend.
I don't even know, but yeah,
But
I
I
mean,
mean,
I just my biggest gripe is just the fact that like TNA considers this like one of their biggest shows of the year, and that's I get it. There's gonna be a payoff eventually. There's always a payoff.
eventually, yeah.
But like, fuck me, man. This was the time to do
How
it.
long?
Especially because we just
Yeah,
had the fucking whatchamacallit, the showdown show.
yeah. I mean, Kalani lost for Team TNA, so she obviously, looking at that, she obviously cannot, represent the brand. So give it to Indy. But I guess they didn't look at it that way. Maybe us looking at it that way is different.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that was about it for that match. Just takeaways I thought Indy should have won. Hardcore War. This was great. So we had the System versus the Order 4. This was an interesting match. So it was a like war games type rules where one man for each side starts, and after X amount of time, another member from that team enters the match, and you can't win the match till everyone's in. So 5v5, really fucking crazy match. Shout out to Alicia fucking Edwards. So gosh, what was this guy's name? Agent Zero. Choke bombed Alicia Edwards onto tacks brutally, not just like let her fall. He fucking threw her down onto these tacks.
Yep.
Nasty. Eventually, of course, Eddie gets in there, checks on her. Agent Zero gives him a big boot. Myers and JDC beat the shit out of him with kendo sticks. But he like ate him like nothing, headbutts them. Moose finally he comes in, hits a spear, wraps his shoulder with the steel chain, hits a second spear. Then they do a double slingshot onto the great hands. Oh, and by the way, John Skyler also got fucked up with a cheese grater at the start of this match, which was disgusting. I was yelling, "Stop it!" at the top of my lungs because it was disgusting. He was a crimson mass the rest of the match. Crazy ass spot. Also, eventually, Ali puts thumbtacks on top of Alicia, who's still on the text that she got chokeslammed on. But he goes for 450 to onto her, but she moves out of the way. He falls on all the tacks. There's a shit ton of tacks on the ground that he landed on. Eddie Edwards wrapped the barbed wire around the knee, hits the Boston Tea Party, gets the win over Order 4. This match was amazing.
It was. I really didn't know what a hardcore war match was when it was first advertised. I guess I missed one in the past, but this like hardcore war is exactly what this was. It wasn't one of those. It's a street fight. It's not really a street fight. This was exactly what it built up to be. I mean, we seen the staple gun, like you said,
That's
the
right. I
cheese
forgot about the staple
grater.
gun. Yeah.
There was a kendo stick that was wrapped in barbed wire, and I think
That's right.
Alicia Edwards hit Agent Zero with it before he
But
done
he like
that
caught it.
chokeslam bomb.
He caught it.
Just
Ate it.
yeah, no problem. I mean, it was a fantastic match. Now, of course, I know I picked the System to win, but I think we should have had Ali win this match. I think they should have.
Interesting, because you actually picked the System in the prediction.
Yeah, but I mean, I know it did, but like Ali, he's kind of been like he's been on another losing streak for a while. So are we going back to the drawing board with him now? Looking at this,
Yeah, maybe the Order 4 is about to disband. Maybe.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Agent Zero, and from what I understand, he's new to TNA. Never wrestled there before.
Yeah, I never saw him before this.
Yeah. So maybe he's
Big guy.
gonna
He was like
yeah.
rivaling Moose in size, basically.
Yeah. So maybe he's gonna take over Order 4 and Ali's gonna go do something else inside TNA. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but good match overall. That was a good moment for TNA. But then of course we went into this fucking X Division Championship match. Amazing fucking match. Incredible 20-minute banger. Ended in a draw initially, which we already kind of talked about this, but like, dude, how do you end this in a draw? Restart it 5 more minutes to have Dark State who have nothing to do. Like, I know we already talked about, but I can't wrap my mind around their decision here.
No.
Like, we could go to
I,
Halloween
I,
Havoc maybe, but like, what the fuck was this match? Might as well not even have had this match.
no. There's no outcome I think that's gonna make sense.
Yeah.
Not just like the fans there felt the same way.
I would have rather had them fucking have one of them win by roll up. Fuck, might as well have it end in a double count out instead, like I initially thought, until they said it was a time limit. Better than that, at least. Dark State should have, if anything, Dark State should have went after the Hardys.
Oh hell, showed up in the main event, like cost, the world title match. It would have made more sense there.
No,
This
I would have been
one,
mad too.
it would have. It was a bad decision all around, but because you wouldn't want to ruin the Hardys and Dudleys, you didn't want to ruin this match. You didn't want to ruin Santana's moment. Dark State could have just stayed in catering and attacked somebody backstage.
Shouldn't have even been there. Such a stupid decision. But then after that, we went into the the final table. So I was very confused. I could have just been that I talked over maybe them explaining the rules to this match. So it was called a final table or something like that match. So I guess you had to put, the way I initially understood it from chat was one guy, but both guys had to go through a table is the way I initially understood it from the team. What confused me was later on in the match. So fun match, crazy shit with tables. First person to go through a table ended up being Jeff. Matt went through a table, but it wasn't offensively. It was from Devon moving out of the way, and Matt went through it. So they said it doesn't count because it has to be offensively, like it's be put through it. But so at one point in the match, Jeff had already went through the table. They get Devon through with a swanton, which, by the way, Jeff smacks the back of his head on the fucking bottom rung of that ladder brutally. He seemed fine. He continued the match, didn't seem out of it or nothing, which was good. But he kept checking the back of his head for a good few minutes. He kept going like that. So I was like, oh my God. And then the ref immediately put on gloves. I'm assuming he had a cut. So I'm glad. Hopefully that's all it was. It was just blood in the cut. But yeah, so it was just those two put in. So that meant, what I thought meant Matt had to go through or Bubba. So what had happened was Bubba has Jeff up for a powerbomb in the ring. He has the table set up, and he goes to powerbomb him through, but he'd already been put through a table, right? So he goes, but Matt pulls the table away. Does that mean Matt didn't have to go through the table? And if you put Jeff through twice, that's it? Because Matt yanked the table out of the way. I get it's also, you could just say he was saving him from going through a table in general, just so he wouldn't be down and out. That makes sense. But I was like, does it matter? He already went through one.
I don't know. Like, I honestly thought it was one table and the match was over. So, like, when they hit the 3D,
I didn't know
like,
either.
Oh,
I don't know if they explained it beforehand, because if they did, I just missed it and talked over it.
I
have no
completely missed it.
But yeah, so chat was like, no, yeah, but then I was like, why is he stopping Jeff from going through? He's already been through it. Why is he even trying to put him through? But I was like, well, you know what? He's just trying to take him out of the match so he could get Matt through better, probably. Like, maybe that's probably why. But still, it was so confusing. It was a fun match, though. At the end of the day, it was a really fun match, especially since all of these guys are a lot older, in their 40s and older. I'm not sure the age of everyone for sure. I think the Dudleys might be in the 50s, maybe. But very fun match. Good callback to their OG matches with just a bunch of table spots. At one point, a table didn't even break in the corner. Just fucking I am the table. And the commentator's like, well, it wouldn't even matter because Matt, if it would have broke, it wouldn't have been offensively put through the table. So I was like, I mean, good save, I guess. But fun match, crazy spots. What did you think of everything on this one?
So for me, this was a great callback to my early childhood, because of course the whole Jeff Hardy doing the swanton through the table with Devon was some of my early remembrance of wrestling. So this was a great match for me off of that. But getting to see Spike, I didn't realize how old Spike Dudley was.
I
First
think he's
off,
older than them. I think he's older than both of them.
yeah, I thought he was younger. But yet again, uh, I was
I mean, he looked good
hoping for
though,
some
just
reason.
older,
Yeah,
obviously.
I was hoping we could see like a leader spot because she was a big part of the Hardys and Team 3D, but the match was great all around.
Someone brought that up in my chat, and I was like, I would love that. I go, but and I know they're probably friends, but I go, but I think
Hmm.
Matt's wife. Like, did you see? She did a video on TikTok recently where she talked about I found a pair of different girls' panties in my house, and it was I guess Matt had some old wrestling stuff, and it included one of like Lita's gear, which included her thong or something, and she threw it out.
I did
And
not see
so
that.
I don't think, even if Matt and Lita are on good terms, because they have a wild history IRL behind the scenes, which is pretty publicly
Yeah, that's
known.
true.
I even if they are good to this day and would be, I don't think Rebby would be like she would cause a steam. I don't even know Rebby, but just based off her social media, I just feel like she would have. Maybe I'm wrong,
Yeah,
but I feel like she'd be that petty to do that if he was to agree to do something with her like that.
maybe. Yeah.
That's just random thought. It doesn't really matter, but
The the chair shots that
yeah.
they gave Bubba, those were some. They had some hit behind them.
Well, they
Like it
also did a
wasn't.
spot where like Jeff hit Matt by accident and like hit him right in the head.
Yeah,
Like Bubba like
but the chair
deflected
shots
it
were
or
bad.
something. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
it ended with them like Bubba was like all alone and they had him in the ring and then there's a table and they were like gonna hit him. I don't know if they were gonna concerto him or what they were gonna do, but he was like all dazed, like Mortal Kombat finish him shit. The finish him. It was just basically how Bubba
yeah.
looked. And they had the chairs, but then they put him down and just put him through the table. Which was pretty cool. It was almost like a sign of sympathy, like, all right, he's done. We don't need to hit him anymore. Let's just put him through the table. Which I thought was cool. But fun fucking match. I mean, especially at their ages, doing the spots they did, and then of course afterwards, they hugged and everything. They were all emotional. Hardys raised their hands up with their titles. They go to turn around, leave. Both Dudleys grab them, turn them around, and they both unlace their boots, and leave them in the ring. And then they all hug and start crying. And it was a great moment. It was a great moment for
It
sure.
was. It was absolutely.
Um, I'm curious though. Does that mean Bubba's done singles then? I always thought he'd
But
continue doing singles if the Dudleys were done, because he's did
I think
singles
it
for a
might
long time.
be
I mean, I would
because he
assume so,
just
right?
recently.
Yeah, he just fought Zilla and just lost the ROW or whatever it was, whatever title he just lost to him not too long ago.
Yeah, because he beat him for the reality of wrestling, and then Zilla won it back. But I think Bubba's done too. Of course, he hasn't said it, but I know the Dudleys
Like as a full,
are
like as doing
officially.
in ring fully, yeah. I'm sure he'll be like
Yeah,
every other legend who comes in for come in and do some spots or hit a 3D every now and again on some young guys or whatever like that, or just
yeah.
do a promo with someone. So I assume, like like Taker does, comes in and does stuff on NXT and WWE and stuff. So I can see Bubba doing that wherever he wants to. Um, but yeah, that kind of surprised me. I expected maybe Devon, but yeah, it looks like they're both fully done.
Yeah, I would
So
say so. Bubba's got a lot going on. He's with LFG. He
mhm,
coaches there. He's got the
that's true.
Busted Open podcast. Um, and he may just, hey, I can coach these guys. I can do this, and I
It's
don't really need
bittersweet
to
because
wrestle
the
anymore.
Dudleys are my favorite tag team, but it's like to the point to where like they're not the tag team that I fell in love with. Like they are, but like older and they just can't do like you know what I mean. And you can't do what they did back then, like say shit they used to say. I'm not saying that they were racist or nothing. Obviously, it's a black and white guy, so but like
Yeah.
they would talk mad shit that you can't say today on TV and stuff.
No, you
And that's
cannot.
what drew me into them was just them on the mic yapping at people, saying whatever they wanted to, and fuck, man. But yeah, no, that's it, man. That's my favorite tag team of all time is Dunskies. And I got to see their last match against the Hardys. I really do wish somehow, some way we would have had Edge and Christian involved in that.
God, if they would have been like sitting somewhere like by themselves. I know it wasn't gonna happen, but it would have been even better.
They should have
Because
did this match at like, I don't know, Defy or something, and then have, since Edge and Christian were AEW, you just fucking, and plus the Hardys are not even WWE, they're just TNA moment. So
yeah,
TNA would be like, fuck yeah, and then that would have been the best, in my opinion, the best outcome. But obviously, what we got was amazing and totally worth the show.
it was. It was a great send off for them, so I'm happy with it.
And we ended the night with the TNA World Championship, Mike Santana and Trick Williams. I will say this match was meh, but I'm glad with the outcome.
Yeah, the crowd was loud for both of them.
Yeah, it was back and forth, back like whoop that trick, and then Mike Santana chanced quite a bit during out the whole match.
I will say getting Mike Santana's daughter involved was pretty
That's cool.
smart.
Yeah,
It gave him
slap
the
the
advantage
shit
in
out
the
of
match.
Trick Williams.
Yes.
But yeah, not a bad match, but honestly, there wasn't a whole lot that stood out. I mean, Santana hit a nice 450 at one point. They did the whole run in with Trick's lawyer, which I didn't even know was a thing because I don't watch TNA Weekly. Trick's lawyer was there, and he ended up getting knocked off the apron by Santana. Yeah, I mean, it was a solid match. Nothing really crazy. I will say, after seeing this match, and I know there's still more to come, but they should have crowned him at Slammiversary. I think that would have hit way better than this. Obviously, they waited because they did the whole NXT invasion with TNA, which still is basically going because, I mean, still have the Hardys as NXT champs. You have Kalani as the Knockouts champ. So, I don't know. Even after everything played out, I still would have rather have him win at Slammiversary.
I would have as well. I think we talked about that for our predictions. Like, I think Slammiversary was more or less in his backyard.
Yep.
And it would have meant more to him. But having his daughter there, maybe that was his wife, maybe his sister with him.
It was in his
They didn't really say it.
hometown, basically, though, for
Yeah,
Slammiversary.
like it could have
That crowd was
easily
so pro
happened.
Mike Santana. They were going crazy for that match at Slammiversary. But
It would
yeah,
have been better there.
but no, I'm glad he finally got it. They did the same with Joe Henry last year. He didn't win it at Slammiversary. He won it at Bound for Glory. And I get it. That's their big show, so I feel like that's the time to crown him. But man, sometimes you just gotta strike when the iron's hot, and we've said that before. And now he's cooled down a bit.
Yeah, and I feel like, even with the, Nick and Frankie chasing him, I feel like, did they wait too long? Like, he still got a good pop tonight, and he'll probably still get a good pop, the next 2 or 3 pay-per-views, but, like, is it gonna wear off fast, or will he continue to stay hot? That's the one question that I think we gotta look at.
It just depends on the booking.
Yeah. Because Jey Uso, he was hot at WrestleMania, and then the booking is what killed that.
I enjoyed his reign, but each their own.
Yeah.
So the show didn't end with that. So Santana gets the win. But Nick Nemeth comes out with the briefcase, or with the trophy, excuse me. I'm used to saying briefcase. But the lights go out when he's walking down the aisle. Guitar strum. It's Elijah, which I didn't expect him to come back this soon. I thought he'd be out way longer. He hits Nemeth with the guitar that fully just fucking turns to dust. I've never seen a guitar do that. Then of course Frankie Kazarian is in the ring behind Santana, who's watching all that go down, but he doesn't have the trophy, so he can't cash in. So of course it leads to hitting the spin the block on him, and Santana stands tall with his daughter to end the show.
Yeah, I didn't realize you had to have the trophy in your hand, but I guess that does make sense.
I didn't get that either. I didn't know, but that's what they said on commentary. So
yeah, the Money in the Bank, you gotta cash it in. The the contract for AEW, you gotta hand it in. So I guess it does make sense, but it wasn't specified. If it has been in the past,
probably
I just don't remember it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Elijah coming back that quick. Did he? I thought he had like a torn pec.
That's what I thought. So he must have healed very quick, because that was like the beginning of summer, maybe right before summer. Like, it felt like it was not that long ago.
No, it wasn't. So maybe it
Shout out to
wasn't
him
as
being
bad as I
back.
thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
glad to see him back. He's still looking jacked. But yeah, overall, good wrestling. There was really no problem for the most part with in ring. Some matches were just didn't really hit for me, but they weren't bad. Um, just the booking decisions, like Javon and Leon killed it, dude. Like it was such. They did so many cool fucking things, only for it to just end on that. Like it was so befuddling. And then the Tessa ending, I didn't care for. Didn't care for the fucking ending to the gauntlet. A lot of things just like I feel like the Javon thing really killed my hype for the last two matches. But luckily the table match was great. So the main event was fine. But I just at that point I was like, damn, okay, like I guess for 9 matches this is good timing. But man, this feels long at this point.
Yeah,
So
it did. It felt long, but like I'd give it a 3.5 out of 4. Could have gave it a 4 if it wasn't for
you mean out of
the
5 or?
dark state. Out of 5, yeah. Sorry,
I was like, damn. I was like, that's
but
pretty good
yeah,
if it's 3.5 out of 4.
uh,
That's almost perfect.
3.5 out of 5. Yeah, the Kazarian stuff
I said
really
3.5 out of
not.
5 on chat to my chat, but I feel like that's being generous. I want to give it a 3. The matches were really good. It's just the booking decisions were really odd.
The only booking like dark state for sure. The Kazarian aspect being a double winner.
First time they've ever
You
done
know,
it, so I get it's different,
yeah,
but I just don't know. I
but
don't think it's gonna
then
play out well.
yeah, I don't either. And then the quarters. That doesn't make sense either. But yeah, I say 3.5 for me.
I'll say 3. Wrestling was good though.
It was.
So Crown Jewel was yesterday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern for us here in the States. Did you wake up for that?
I did. Yeah, I was up. I took the rest of the day off though, but I was up.
That bitch for me was at 6 a.m. It was better. Last year I think when they did Chamber in Perth, I think that was either 4 or 5 my time. I don't remember. But so it was a bit earlier. But so I was like, okay, so but I have such the worst sleep schedule right now. I'm like up so late. I could not. I slept 2.5 hours before that bitch. So I did that.
Gosh,
I did that stream on 2.5 hours. It was good though. I will say this was not a bad show.
it wasn't. It started off with a fantastic match.
Yes. So the Australian street fight, we had kangaroos everywhere, koala bears hanging out. I'm just kidding. Can you imagine if that's how that fucking fight went? That'd be crazy. But yeah, no, it was started off with the Australian street fight. Good back and forth action. Obviously they used a ton of different weapons. There was a cricket bat. I think he had an AFL football, the Australian football at one point too.
Yep.
Which I was like, I knew they were gonna have fucking Australian related weapons. But a good match. Fucking the Usos end up having to get involved because, of course, Bronson finally beats Roman Reigns, but of course, it came with the help of Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman. But the Usos came out and saved him afterwards. But Roman didn't like that.
No, he did not. He
He
doesn't want to
told
see him till
them,
Christmas.
yeah. Someone told me that he said he didn't want to see their two faces. I was like, I swear he said Christmas. But yeah, so he which is funny because he always had help for years as the tribal chief. So kind of funny that now when he's getting double teamed to lose a match, he gets mad that he got help.
Yeah, that was one of the things he said to him. He was. I didn't need y'all's help. I said I didn't want y'all's help because the world thinks I can't do this on my own no more. It's not like it used to be.
That's true. I mean, I guess
And
I got so used
so,
to him wanting the help, so
yeah, and like you said, it's not like it used to be. There's only one way it can be, and then he got frustrated with himself.
yeah.
So I don't know. Does how it used to be involve Paul Heyman and the title and the bloodline being the bloodline? I just I don't know where they're going with it now.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, because a lot of us were speculating that it'd be like a War Games thing, but it's obviously gonna be the Vision and like a Cody with some people. Um, Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that Bronson finally got the win, and obviously he got his home win in his home country. Um, got how it was a street fight regardless, so it doesn't even matter, I guess. You know, we got that help to win. Um, but they put on a good show. The crowd was really into it. They were pro Roman big time.
Yes.
Which was cool because obviously Bronson's from Australia. But yeah, anything else to add to that match?
Um, we've seen prime bottles be used as weapons. The crowd loved that.
I thought they just
Because I
cheered when he
think,
knocked it over, as I thought all he did.
yeah, they cheered for that too. They cheered when he threw it at him. Um, other than that, though, the match was great. I mean, and Paul Heyman really didn't have much involvement in it, which was interesting, except for trying to get a football thrown at him, which Roman missed.
Yeah.
What was
Go ahead. Sorry.
no, but yeah, like I guess I'm just kind of still confused where Jay and Jimmy fall in at. If if they're gonna do another Jimmy or Jay and Roman storyline like we've seen back at Hell in a Cell, if
Hmm.
them two are gonna feud after this moving forwards,
Maybe.
because Jay said he's always gonna do what he wants to do. It's time I do what I want to do. So I'm just really confused there on where
Well,
it's
we did see
going.
the Usos after Roman left and told him what he told him after the match. Jay tells Jimmy said him like he was done, and Jay's like if he's just thinking about himself and he's out. So I think they're about to both be done with him again, I guess.
Yeah,
But
and Jimmy's gonna be taking time off at some point because of course Naomi's gonna have the
yeah,
baby.
that's not for
So
a while though. Probably like another 6 months,
yeah.
I would assume, maybe even more. Um, but yeah, fine match, good opener to the show. Um, so we go right into Stephanie versus Tiffany. Match was unfortunately short.
Was it?
Yes,
I don't know the exact time. It did not feel short.
it was short.
This match.
I'm pulling up
Maybe
the
it
time now.
was.
Yes, it was. That was the only thing I hated is it just never hit that next level. It was apparently more than I thought, but it was 10 minutes.
Okay.
So Bronson and Roman was 21, Cena AJ was 27, Io and Rhea versus Kabuki was 19, and the main event was 30. So compared to
Holy
everything
shit, the man
else,
was
29:40, so might as well have been 30, yeah.
man, that's crazy. Yeah, I didn't realize it was 10 minutes.
10-minute match. Compared to everything else, it felt short.
Yeah, yeah, completely.
No, but it wasn't like a bad match, but nothing really stood out in that match to me.
Um, no, I was just surprised that honestly they had Tiffany lose because they kept building up her undefeated streak for 2025.
That was the reason why, so she could lose it to the new one that they've been pushing to the moon. So it's like to me, I knew they were gonna do like a passing the torch of the push to the moon. That's the way I perceived it because Stephanie's been nonstop push to the moon since she's been here, and a lot of people are even starting to complain about it online, which I'm fine with it because she, in my opinion, I was talking about this with Sam Stackhouse last night because we were talking about he didn't see it, but he was like talking about some of the tweets I tweeted about it, and he was like, I love Stephanie back here. He goes, she's probably one of the best female wrestlers I've ever seen wrestle ever.
Yeah.
And he was like so happy for her. He's like, she deserves all this win. And we were talking about that. I was like, yeah. I was like, she's been winning everything. I go, but I think she's well deserved. She's probably the best women's wrestler right now. WWE next to Io and them.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. They did push her quick. A lot of people complained that she got stuck on NXT, but I think that was by her choice. I think she wanted to go to NXT first.
Maybe they wanted her to make sure she understood their style, I guess, of how they work things.
Yeah, because she was in AEW for a little bit. I don't think she was that long.
No,
And then
she
she went to
wasn't. She all she did was they booked her for Mercedes for the strong title, and I think she was probably part of like a match leading up to that in AEW, but it was just for the Forbidden Door build because she was CMLL.
yeah, and then she dropped it there, and then what? A month later, she was in WWE.
Not even like a few weeks. She
Yeah,
she like quit. She like left her contract early for CMLL in New Japan. She had like dates left and she didn't fulfill them.
Yeah, she
And
was just, I guess, ready to go. But yeah, she deserves it completely. Um, the 450 corkscrews, or is a backflip that she did a moonsault with a corkscrew into it for the finish.
oh, the
Either way,
it's a spiral tap.
a spinal tap. Okay,
Spiral
yeah,
tap,
because I
yeah.
think that move, it when she hit, I think the her knees caught Tiffany in the jaw a little bit.
I thought I caught her
That
in
is
the
a
gut,
nasty,
like the
yeah,
chest and gut. But yeah, no,
yeah, that is a nasty finisher.
yeah, the spiral tap is great. I first time I personally saw that, and people are gonna laugh at me because obviously this got made popular, I believe, in Japan. But first time I saw the spiral tap, at least that like it made me like, what the fuck, was Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne take over Chicago. And Tyler Bate hit a nasty one on Dunne. It's a
Okay,
fucking great move. But yeah, I love that she hit the spiral tap for the win. Won the crown jewel. So she got that title. It was bigger than her, dude. It was like going from her like all the way from her like upper thighs to her fucking chest. It was crazy.
yeah,
The
it's a
title's
huge
huge.
title.
But yeah, good match. Anything else to add to that?
No, other than they did make Tiffany look extremely strong in this because she kicked out of the Devil's Kiss and SVB, which led to the Spinal Tap being the finisher. The
Spiral.
one she would spiral. But yeah, fantastic match.
Afterwards we see Braun Breaker backstage. He's gassing up Bronson about his win. Paul walks in, congratulates Bronson. Says that they're the future, the Vision's the future. But he tells them not to help Seth Rollins in the main event, no matter what. He even tells them if Seth goes on the corner and waves his hand saying, help me, not to go out there and help him. Very fucking
Yep.
interesting. There's obviously been a lot of issues going on between Paul and Seth. A lot of like just not they're not on the same page by any means.
No, and I think that's something that's going to either be the downfall of the Vision or something that's going to make the Vision even that more dangerous. Is
So
that
yeah, for sure. I don't even think they're gonna be lasting much longer. I could see at the latest WrestleMania next year, but I don't even think till then.
they make it through War Games, but I think after that it's going to probably be done.
But when Heyman walks away after that, Braun looks like didn't like that he told him that. Um, and then he says, and then Bronson says, "But what if Cody wins?" Paulie returns and tells them, "I think you both know the answer to that." And he walked back out. So pretty fucking interesting. I've been loving these backstage segments. So next we got the match of the year candidate to me. John Cena, AJ Styles. Crowd going crazy. The whole crowd, by the way, the majority of this crowd, usually when you go to wrestling shows, the majority are wearing black, but they're all different shirts. This was
Yeah.
the majority of this crowd was wearing the yellow Australian Cena farewell shirt. I've never
Yes.
seen that many like one shirt in one show, like that noticeable.
Yeah. I seen some people posting online that was there. It said it looked like a Minions takeover from Despicable. Like,
The Minions were out to see a match of the year then, because this fucking thing was insane, loaded with moves for tributes. But before the match even started, once both men were in the ring, obviously John had Alicia Taylor do his Never Seen 17 shtick after she made her initial announcement. But then he handed her another note, like he did initially back when he first started that shtick, and it was for AJ. She did a whole announcement, where she says, says, the phenomenal face of TNA, total nonstop action. He was total nonstop action, the phenomenal face of TNA, the ace of the Bullet Club, and the boss of it. And that he's excited to see him try to beat up John Cena one more time. And you could tell this was legit surprising to AJ. He immediately smiled and like kind of got emotional, while Cena was also just smiling and enjoying it. What I loved that. I was so excited when he did that.
yeah, it was fantastic. And even the outfit, the ring gear, I think was a playback to AJ's one of his first matches,
Yeah,
maybe
from
in TNA.
2005, like 25 or 20 years to the date almost. It was an October match of 2005. So almost 20 years to the date.
Yeah, so you can really tell they're both really keyed in on what's going on. And AJ stated like 26, he's done. 2026,
Yeah,
he's
he
done.
stated this week, he said that this would probably be his last time wrestling in Japan coming up here this weekend when they're doing their Japan shows. So yeah, this is his last hurrah too. So John made it as important as his in this match,
Yep, he absolutely
which you
did.
got to
I
respect the
like
shit out
that.
of that. But man, dude, they pay tribute to so many different wrestlers, TNA, WWE. We saw no, they didn't go out of the ring like they did for their Rumble match. They stayed in the ring the whole match, not even like a roll out to catch breath. They stayed in the ring and beat the living shit out of each other. And this was their longest match. It went longer than any of their previous matches at 27 minutes.
Yeah, I could tell every
Insane.
27 minutes, but it was great. It did not feel like it went too long. It doesn't feel like it was too short. I think they did everything they needed to in this match to make it the one last match be perfect.
So they paid tribute to so many different wrestlers. They did a skull crushing finale from John Cena onto AJ. We saw a Sister Abigail reversal, basically a tribute to how Bray won the title off of AJ at Chamber, where AJ went for phenomenal form but gets caught in the Sister Abigail. Cena did that exactly. The crowd loved it. Fireflies came out. The whole world in his hand chant broke out. Really emotional. Cena was looking at the crowd, looked like maybe was getting a little choked up with a big smile on his face at the crowd. We saw angel wings from AJ. What I thought was the dead eye, which was I learned it was Frankie Kazarian's fade to black, which is what was hit by AJ. We had a tombstone onto AJ. Obviously, he had a feud with Taker, and so did Cena, so that was fitting. Fuck, man, we had so much that I can't even remember them all. There were so many.
The Walls of Jericho was in there.
Yep.
It was
RKO, the RKO. He
oh
went for a
yeah,
punt. Cena went for the punt. He hit the draping DDT. They crowd started requesting shit. We started getting 619 chants, so they set up a
yeah.
619 that Cena missed. There was yes chants for Daniel Bryan, I guess. Yeah, like this crowd was eating every bit of it up. Like sweet chin music, or I guess people were saying that it was more of James Storm or Bobby Roode on. I don't know whose chin music it was, but one of them people were pointing out that was for one of them. But yeah, there was a lot of tributes from both men in this match. Oh, and I think we talked about it earlier, right? Did we say like how they did the tributes in the TNA match tonight too? I think we did.
Yep.
But
There were,
man, great match.
I think there was an accolade too. You could, yeah, because Cena done it to AJ.
I guess so. I don't know. To me that's just a full Nelson. So or whatever it's called. The full Nelson's that.
The
Whatever.
camel clutch.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
It could have been a Rusev shout. Maybe it was. I mean, he had a feud with him, so that would make the most sense, I guess.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it. But either way, like the Tombstone pile driver into an AA to finish the match, like that was that was AJ's real last opponent. I get well, not real last.
Taker's
opponent,
last
but like
opponent.
yeah, Taker's was
AJ, yeah.
with AJ. Yeah, so it was all these
Also,
callbacks.
AJ did finally reverse the Super AA. He got out of it.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, so they did a lot of
forgot about
callbacks
that.
to even their old matches. But man, it was incredible. It was incredible. Sucks to say that that's the last time they'll ever face one-on-one because they've now had, I believe, 5 matches. They had the 3 pay-per-view, and then they had one on SmackDown, and then of course the one yesterday. But man, what a fucking match. And then afterwards, Cena went and hugged his wife, who was ringside. They also paid respect. Him and AJ had respect after the match in the ring. And Cena left him in the ring to like kind of bask in the glory. But then Cena held up the 4. He's got 4 dates left as a full-time, I guess you could say full-time wrestler or wrestler in general. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, obviously that doesn't mean he disappears after those 4 dates. He'll obviously come back and do stuff and probably cut promos or show up for big events, legend nights or whatever. But damn, that's so crazy to think that his in-ring full-time career is coming to the complete end.
Yeah, like he's done so much in 25 years. So 17 times world champ, He's now got 100 PLE wins. Of course, he's second behind the Undertaker. I think Taker has 107. And then he's only missing one title, be a Grand Slam champ. I'm hoping somehow they finish that off
There's
before he's done.
rumors that they are talking of him and Dom being one of his last matches. So, and there was rumors. I think it was Meltzer. So again, who knows if this happens? But I think he said
Oh
that there
yeah,
was talks of it happening at Survivor Series.
that'd be
Him
fine
and
with me.
Dom. And if Dom sells the title by then, there's your Grand Slam finally.
It could happen. It's worth it for sure.
So after that amazing match, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Asuka and Kairi have the unfortunate opportunity to try to follow it. And they did in a good way. It wasn't a bad match. A lot of the drama happening with Asuka and Kairi and Io played out very fucking well in this matchup. Asuka and Io, man, they have great chemistry. Holy fuck. They were really good together in this match. The drama being a part of it was great. I love that Rhea had the Rio, like RH, and then EO on her cheek, where she usually writes something. That was cool. Man, this crowd though, like this was the second biggest pop of the night for Rhea, right behind Cena. You can't beat Cena on a retirement tour pop, but man, was hers right behind it. They popped like crazy for her. For everyone really, this crowd was great all night, to be honest. But man, were they insane for Rhea. But good match overall. Nothing too crazy. I feel like there was some good stuff between Io and Asuka. That was like my favorite stuff in the match. They did a really good job at getting the Rhea the hot tag for the crowd to go crazy for her. But yeah, really good match. It was fucking great.
Yeah, I felt like Io spent a lot of time
She
in the
did.
ring in this match.
So this one went 1955. So pretty good length. A lot of these matches, except for that women's title, went really good times.
But like this one, it just seemed like Io was the main focal point of being in the ring, even though Rhea was
Hometown girl
from Australia, yeah, hometown. They did not have her involved. It felt like in majority of this match.
Well, they definitely built up the hot tag for it. Once they got her in off the hot tag, she even then she was only in for a few minutes before she immediately tagged Io back in. But no, yeah, like I think they did a good job at getting the pop for her during the match. And then once she did come in that time after the hot tag, it was kind of they tagged her back in here and there, so it was kind of filled it back up pretty well. But she ends up hitting the super riptide, or she climbs up for the super riptide, but Kairi Sane tags Asuka while she's about to go for it. Shoves Asuka clear, but then Rhea boots down Kairi instead, and that's how she ends up winning. She hits the riptide on Asuka, tags in Io, who hits the moonsault 1, 2, 3, pins Asuka, which was fitting because Asuka's been the biggest problem, and Kairi's just been kind of following. But yeah, that was a very good match. I mean, really nothing. I don't want to say nothing stood out, but I just really loved the battle between Io and Asuka in this when they were going at it in the beginning portion. It was really good.
Yeah, and there was some spots that Kairi Sane took that kind of looked rough, like that Razor's Edge. It looked like Rhea threw her. I mean, of course, she probably easily threw it, but like it looked like she landed horrible. So
Probably. I mean, she's so light compared to a lot of the other women. I feel like just size wise, so probably ate that pretty hard just because she got yeeted harder.
Yeah, but it was a great match. A lot of people said it probably wasn't as well as they built it up, but I think it was. This has been the best thing on Monday nights right now.
Yeah, I agree. I hope we still get the guides tomorrow because I fucking love that shit. But yeah, this feud's definitely not over. I definitely think that this is gonna continue with Io and Asuka. If it's gonna more than likely lead to a one-on-one, maybe at Saturday night's main event coming up here in November.
Yeah,
that's the beginning of November 1st, I believe. So I could see that going down. If they don't do like a title match for one of the women's titles at Saturday night main event.
yeah. I hope they don't push Rhea right back into the title picture right off. Hope she does something different for a little bit. But I feel like one of these three, because I don't know if they'll put Kyrie in that option, but one of these three will be in the title picture soon.
I agree, but what else would you do with Rhea at this point? Just keep her in this feud for a bit?
You could have her and Io challenge for the tag titles, give it some relevancy. Because right now they're not being used either.
I mean, they're doing stuff with Alexa and Charlotte. They're not just like having title defenses like crazy though.
Yeah,
But they're
I mean, they're
defending.
doing great things
They've had like 3 defenses or
backstage.
2 defenses so far. They've had more
Yeah,
defenses
but
than the Judgment Day.
that's true. But the women's tag division, it just doesn't seem like it's, you know, flooded like it could be because there's plenty of roster for it.
Well, they had a tag division until they released the majority of them.
That's true.
The only ones that stayed
were
were the Judgment Day because they were the fucking champs. The rest were
That's true
released.
too. That's true.
And the Secret Herberts are the only other ones that didn't get released. But after that, we jumped into the world title match. Or the I guess world title. It's for the crown jewel title, I should say. So it's world title. But nothing really too crazy in this match. No Vision, which Paul asked for. They didn't get involved. But Seth did cheat to win, which is not surprising. He used the watch, wore the watch out to the ring that Cody gave him WrestleMania 40 weekend. Took it off, of course, to start the match, but eventually went back and grabbed it. And when the ref, I think they like kind of bumped in the ref, or I don't even remember exactly what happened, but something with the ref eventually led to Seth hitting him in the forehead with it, and then hitting a stomp, and then he hit a super stomp as well from the top and got the win.
Yeah. There were some great spots in this match. Some stuff that I wasn't expecting to see. We had the crossroads off the top of the top turnbuckle.
That's right.
That I
Yeah,
thought was over.
that was interesting because I saw some people complain about, wow, that was the first time we've seen a super cross. Well, maybe not, and I think he's did in AEW, but first time in WWE, I believe he's hit the super crossroads, and it was a kick out.
Yeah.
I guess the 3-1's a super, but whatever you want to call this one, top rope crossroads.
Yeah, there's avalanche, Cody, crossroads, yeah, and then the flying headbutt by Seth.
That was wicked because it was coast to coast. It wasn't just a flying headbutt; it was a coast to coast. Yeah. So he had Cody in the tree of woe upside down. Of course, that's the tree of woe, and then he went to the other corner and hit that flying headbutt. That was wicked.
Yeah. So I
believe they both hit each other's finishers as well. I think pedigree by either pedigree or a stomp by Cody. I don't remember which one he went for.
I think it was a pedigree, yeah.
But yeah, they kicked out of each other's finishers quite a bit. I was surprised that he did the avalanche one and kicked out. That was like the biggest surprise for me. But not a bad match. I really thought that because Paul told the Brawns not to get involved, that we'd see maybe Becky get involved or someone else new, maybe a Theory or something. But nothing. It was just using the watch, which I think I'd like better in the end because it ties with that WrestleMania 40, and they have such a long history since Cody returned. I mean, and in their Shield days because they had a feud then. But yeah, I mean, really cool callbacks to a lot of the stuff. A lot of kickouts of big moves, which were surprising on this one. At least I didn't expect it for Crown Jewel. But I did expect Seth to get the win here, so nothing too surprising.
No. The gear, I don't know. They mentioned it. I don't know if you caught it, but
like the polka dots on the ass.
Was wearing, yeah, he had all of the matches gear kind of combined in the one. So it's all 3 of the matches.
That makes more sense
that they
then.
had.
All I noticed was the polka dot part, so I just figured that was the only thing. But that would make a lot more sense because there was like a lot of different things above it too. Like it was like all in like one spot. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then the callback, what we talked about with the Paul Heyman thing. You know, if he asks for help, don't go.
Yeah.
Well, what happens if he loses? You know what happens. So he won.
He did, but he won.
Where the hell was Paul Heyman at after the match?
That's what I said. There was no Vision to celebrate, even though he finally got it done without them. And obviously, I wonder if Seth's going to bring that up tomorrow on Raw. But he grabbed the mic, so Kath Kelly went to interview him, and he just stole the mic. He's like, you're going to ask me how's it feel to get the monkey off my back, which is interesting as well. Because I think it was kind of like a thing like he couldn't win without the Vision type of monkey. But Stephanie comes out, they both hold up their titles and they show their rings and stuff. And that was the show. It was good. In ring, it was more of an in-ring focused PLE, which I really appreciate. I felt like that was the focus of the show. was the in-ring action, telling the story in the ring, and that's my type of wrestling. And I thought they did a really good job of that at Crown Jewel. Way better than WrestlePalooza in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Crown Jewel. It was worth waking up for. That AJ Cena match itself was worth waking up for.
Yeah, it was worth drinking a big cup of coffee and making sure I was awake for sure to be sitting
Yeah.
there.
So yeah, overall I think I'd give Crown Jewel 4 out of 5, mainly just because that AJ Cena match fucked. But everything in the ring was really good.
Yeah, I agree with you on
Um,
that 4.
but of course you won the predictions, so fucking.
Yeah.
We could still do one for Wrestle Dream. We'll do like maybe we'll come up with a different idea for a prize on that one because I won't be live reacting to it, but I definitely still, you know.
I won't be live reacting to it either. I'll be there, so that's gonna be
Oh, I'll
fun.
be there. I'm gonna be at the show. I live in the East Coast where they always come. I'm lucky.
I don't know why they come to the East Coast a lot. Like
Just
we'll get in
because
the
all the
first
cities are closer. All the major cities are so much closer than it is over here.
we'll get in the first ever women's blood and guts too, which I was surprised they're doing that in
Women's blood and
Greensboro.
guts too, and you only got one show this year, and they've been in my area way more than you. Mm.
See, I don't know why they. I would feel like
They
the
come here more
West
than
Coast.
WWE does. At least I feel they do.
Yes, they WWE don't really come here either.
I don't even know if I spoke about
So
this since last time, but I did say that they were gonna do Denver, I think a month ago because it was like leaked out. They were gonna do a double taping
mhm.
going into Thanksgiving weekend here in the States. So November 21st is in Denver. SmackDown taping, then they're gonna tape the next week, or like a live, then tape the next week. Tickets came out I think last Friday.
Yes.
Nosebleeds over $100, like $108 before fees, something like that.
Yeah. Um. Since we're talking about it, do you what do you use Ticketmaster for yours?
Well, I mean, I was curious because I was looking at the pre-sale, and so yeah, there's like TickPick and there's all those other ones, but
Yeah.
even those right now are still those like not far off. They're like $3 difference, and because obviously they just went on sale, but like even Ticketmaster tickets will drop the day of show or like the week of show, so I feel like it doesn't even matter on the site you use. TickPick is good because you don't get any extra fees. You just get like a state tax or whatever it is, but.
Yeah. So wow, this is okay. So this is surprising. Um. For a place in South Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, it's a little bit of a drive for me. But it's for SmackDown, November 7th.
Mhm.
I don't know the upper level of that. They dropped their prices, I guess, because the other day it was like 120. It's $54 right now, which is surprising.
I'm gonna pull up real quick. What are you looking on Ticketmaster?
That was on Ticketmaster. For two upper level, I guess the top
All
was
right, I'll
gonna
see
be
what mine are.
108.
Find tickets. Yeah, last time I checked, there was like so they're doing, how the stage is smaller now, so like they have like the
Yeah.
kind of like obstructed views that were like 70. I was like, fuck that, because that's still like the 300 section. Okay, so if I wanted to do camera side, the top level 300 section,
Hmm.
cheapest ticket is $100, and that's the last row, literally the farthest back you could sit before fees on Ticketmaster, $100.45.
Yeah, so that one I told you about is obstructed view. And so that's why. So if you go like one section over, it's aisle seating, premium aisle seating, 110
Yeah, same
for
with
the
this one.
back
So
of
the
the upper
cheapest
level.
before fees is 60.25, but it's obstructed view.
So, and since we're talking about it, if we like, that's absolutely insane. But for anyone that's wanting to go to like an AEW show, you can go to a premium live event for AEW. And for that same price, you can have, let's see if it's still, for that same price, lower level right now is $86.
Damn, that's really good.
It's absolutely insane,
That's
the
insane.
difference.
That's insane price differences, especially for a fucking pay per view. Insane.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna go ahead and call it there. It's one of our shorter shows in over an hour and a half, or at an hour and a half.
Yes.
So
hour and a
Kraken,
half exactly.
where can everyone follow you outside of the podcast?
Of course, here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, Twitch, TikTok, and Kick. All the Kraken Wrestling.
Sorry. I just realized in my tweet reaction to Santana Restrict, I somehow fucked up the hashtag. So it says Mike Santana Restrict Williams TNA title match, hashtag TNA BOH, and then I put fuck hound for glory. I don't know how I did that.
That's good.
I know I posted that when I was getting ready to take the puppy outside, but how the fuck did I do that? And I don't do the Twitter blue shit or whatever it's called, so I can't edit the tweet.
I see it.
What the fuck, dude? I just, because someone replied to it, so I was like, pulled it up real quick. Oh my god, that's funny.
Dark State got him so messed up. He said, "Fuck Bound for
I
Glory."
guess so. I guess so. But all right, you guys can follow me everywhere. Josh Vibes Up here on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. All my links are down in my bio below here on the live. And yeah, we'll be back, I believe, Thursday. We'll talk Raw, NXT Dynamite. And yeah, catch you guys next time.